Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and we are back with a new week in Destiny. We've got a little bit of story, which actually I haven't quite finished yet, but we have one stray cap, got a video up for that one, and the Dawning is here. So, Eva Levante has returned for the Holiday Snowball event, and we've got a few things to go over with regards to challenges, upgrades, best way to get spirit, and all that fun stuff. So this is the Dawning 2023 guide. Here we go. First thing that's going to happen is Eva Levante is going to give you an oven, and she's also going to give you some ingredients. Now, if you've done this before, and you've played in previous seasons, you should be able to masterwork your oven very easily. If you haven't done that before, you're a newer player, something like that, basically to masterwork your oven, you're going to need to cook one of each cookie. Now, if you're going for the seasonal challenges, you're going to need to do one of each cookie anyway, so don't feel like you're being left out. The difference is, if you haven't played before, your cookies are going to be a little more expensive until you masterwork. So my advice is, if you're new, bake one of each, and that allows you to masterwork. If you have done this before, there are no new recipes this season. So first thing you should do is masterwork your oven, and that makes your Essence of Dawning required for each cookie a little cheaper. Now, each cookie requires a green ingredient and a blue ingredient. Basically, the green ones come from enemy types. The blue ones come from like things that you do. Killing things with solar, multi-kills, defeating targets with stasis. Personal Touch right now is involved in one of the quests, and I cannot get one to drop. And I'm running Solar Hammer, Bonk Titan. Like, there's no reason I should not see one Personal Touch. So some of these have very, somebody on Twitter put it, an abysmal drop rate. Like, if I have 32 of one and I'm a Bonk Hammer Titan and I don't have any of these, that's not great. So some of these are just terrible to drop. I even tried to tag Destiny 2 Twitter team on this, and it's not there yet. But even if the ingredients are low, there are going to be some things that you do where you just have like 30 of each ingredient, depending on what activity you get stuck farming or doing, depending on what build you use. Like if you kill a lot of Hive and you use Arc or something all the time, like this one, for example, if you use finishing touches, probably not going to have a lot of those. But if you do Arc kills and Chitin Powder, for example, and you're killing a bunch of Hive, then maybe you're just going to be rolling with enough ingredients to make 30 cookies. Now you're also going to need like 300 essence. I'll cover how to make that one. But first thing that you're going to make is a Yallardoodle. You're going to go give it to Zavala, and he is going to give you a gift in return. Now, these things can possibly drop little ingredients. They can drop upgrade modules. They can drop a few things. These also can possibly drop the memento once you have it unlocked. So I would also hold on to some of these at first. Any of the ones you get, I wouldn't just completely open them very quickly. You can do stuff with them later. But if you're going for the memento, that might be a nice way to go for a couple of those. So after you do the first quest, cook the Yallardoodle, give it to Zavala. Then you're going to come into your event card and claim the first challenge. And that's going to unlock all the rest. And then, remember, if you want to upgrade the event card, you can. You pay the $10. You instantly get this stuff right here, all three of these. And then if you do all of the event challenges, then you're going to get enough tickets to be able to get all the rest. Totally optional, because if you complete the challenge, you're still going to get the ship. If you complete the challenge, you're still going to get the weapons. That type of stuff will happen, but if you're going for all the cosmetics, event card will be your way to do it there. Now, a couple things that you're going to want to know. Grab your bounties. Just may as well knock out at least the weeklies. They give you a couple Dawning Essence of Dawning, which is not an easy thing to come by, and Dawning Spirit chunks, which is pretty good. Daily bounties aren't bad. The weeklies depends on if you're farming Bright Dust and all that fun stuff. Now, the final thing in the first quest she's going to have you do is buy one upgrade. Now, the upgrades here are for two things. All of the basic, you've got more Dawning Essence from bounties. You've got stuff related to weapons, which I'll cover in a little bit, and then also the snowball upgrades. The snowball upgrades, the reason you would want to go with those first is because once you finish the first quest, literally after you buy one of those upgrades, you're done and you get two more. One of these is going to be Winter Night, and that is going to get you the Dawning Memento. Now, I haven't got to the second step yet because I haven't farmed like crazy, but you have to upgrade the snowball. You have to get snowball final blows, and then you need upgraded snowball final blows. You need 25 of those. One classic butter cookie cooked for Ava, and then there's going to be one more step, not entirely sure, but you're going to need to upgrade the snowballs if you're going for the memento. The other one or on quest, sorry, is going to be cookie delivery. And it's going to tell you how to make every cookie. Like, Banshee can be found in the Tower Courtyard and prefers Telemetry Tapioca, which uses Vex Milk, Kill Vex, Bullet Spray, which is like machine guns, SMGs, auto rifles, that type of stuff. Some are very obvious. Saint 14 can be found on the Tower Hangar and prefers Lavender Ribbon Cookies, which uses Vex Milk, so go kill more Vex until you get one to drop. And you would be surprised how many Vex you have to kill to get Vex Milk to drop sometimes. So if your drop rates are low, you're not alone. That's all I'm going to tell you. And Personal Touch. I literally haven't seen one Personal Touch drop, so I can't even make one. And you're probably going to go through pretty much every vendor on this whole entire quest, and then I forget what the reward is. Now, if you are a new player, you also may possibly have a quest that gets you this ship. I don't know if this is just like an old ship, but if you have played previously and you have this in your collections, bring it out of the vault or collections, because grants a chance to generate Dawning Spirit whenever you find a Dawning ingredient. If you kill a hive, sometimes you'll get chitin powder. Well, then you might find some Dawning Spirit. If you get a multi-kill and you get multifaceted explosion or whatever that is, then you might get some Dawning Spirit. And Dawning Spirit is really important because that is what you use to buy all of the upgrades. All of them. Now, you get some Dawning Spirit a little bit by doing, by baking cookies, you get 5 and 5 here. But every one of these that is for like, basically Stasis, Strand, Solar, Void, Arc damage, none of these at all drop Spirit. Now, this one drops a little Spirit, this one I finished drops Spirit, this one drops Spirit, but you might get like, I don't know, 30 Spirit from doing all of these. And again, you need to bake all of the cookies to get some of these. So this is going to be slow. Your best way to get Spirit is to either pull out the old ship that I've got, or find your way to do the challenge that gets you the new ship, which is unfortunately baking all the cookies. But that is where some of the slowness of this event's going to come in, because if you want this ship and you need to bake all 20 cookies, you're going to be working on baking cookies, getting ingredients, and farming essence long before you're working on Spirit for all of these upgrades. Now, as you're going through whichever order you have to do this in, my advice is hold on as much as possible to anything that is a gift in return. So if you're baking cookies, giving them to people, and all of that stuff's going on, or you get, festive engrams, however this is going to happen, keep the gifts in return. Really important. And notice if you want to focus anything, it's going to cost you Dawning Spirit as well. So it's really, really important to get a lot of Dawning Spirit. That's why the ship quest is crucial. So if there is no old quest, then you 100% are going to need to bake one of every cookie, so you get the new ship, which should also probably have that perk on it. So the snowball upgrades are increase the slow effect even more, they leave a stasis mine, they freeze combatants, and they drop snowballs and instant freeze. The snowball upgrades are cool, and probably the most abundant place that you're going to see the snowballs is the Vanguard playlist. You might also see them in Crucible, you might see them in Gambit. But I will tell you, I just did like 2 paths on the coil, and I saw 0. So there are certain playlists you're not going to see any no matter what you do, so you will need to spend some time in those playlists. These upgrades up here, like the Boon of Friendship, is actually nice because it's going to help you and other people get extra rewards from that activity. So if you have a Boon of Friendship, turn it on, because if you do that in a Strike or a Crucible match, other people are going to get the benefits as well. Now, you can get more ingredients from doing bounties, but unless you're just going crazy on bounties, these should be very, very low priority. The priority, unlock access to the Dawning Engram focusing option. Not a bad way to go. Unlock access to the limited gift exchange focusing option. Over here, you've got gift wrapped exchange, and then the limited gift wrapped exchange program is going to be for actually focusing specific weapons. But before you do these two, before you ever go after any specific weapon, focus on these two first. And you have to get Perky Presence before you get Perkier Presence, because you get an extra perk in the left column and then extra perk in the right column. So if you get any weapon during this entire event, these two are the first things that you're going to want to get, so you have a better chance at getting a good roll because you'll have extra perk options on the weapons. So, and again, it's a chance, but it's still better than nothing. So these should be the first things that you go for. If you're going for the memento, you can throw these in there. If you have the ship, you're going to be able to get Dawning Spirit. Like, I've done a few things and I'm up to 74. So, like, I could buy this, and then I could buy this, and that way any weapon I do see will have both upgrades. After this, then I can work on other stuff. But for the time being, like any gift in return, which is that currency you see, you're going to find it in your consumables. Any of these that you get, hold on to them for a little while. You don't need to spend these early. You don't need to open them for a little while. You'll be better off just waiting. So that's going to be your snowball upgrades. If you're going for the memento, you will need to get at least up to here. And if you're going for any weapon drops, any weapon focusing, start here. Then you can get your weapon focusing. Then if you bought everything else and you don't have any other spirit, well, you could do these, but honestly, the fact that it's 70 spirit and you could focus that into about 3 different weapons, I might honestly skip that. If you've been playing the game enough, your ingredients probably won't be the big issue. Now, for your event challenges, you've got Snowball Final Blows, pretty basic, not too difficult. Just pick up snowballs. This is why Vanguard playlist, you'll find snowballs all the time in there, so it's just an easy place to do it. Bake each of the cookies. You have to bake each one of the unique cookies at least once. So my advice is keep a list of what you have made personally, because if you make like 14 and you forget which ones you've made and you come back 3 days later, you might forget. And then if you bake like the Yallerdoodle again and you forgot you already gave that to Zavala, that's another wasted cookie. And early on, being as you need to bake one of each to masterwork your oven, it's really important to do each one time so your essence of the dawning doesn't get wasted. Bake cookies of the dawning oven. This is just a total of 50. This is where you can bake no matter what you need. So if you're doing the unique ones, that's one thing. But if you're going for like the mass quantity, like I need to bake 50 cookies, that's where you find the thing where you have the ingredients that you're just rolling in, where you're like, I have 50 of X ingredient. This one for me, bright dusted snowballs I can give to Tess in the tower, but I have 30 of each ingredient because multi-kills and hive, I was sitting in Grasp of Avarice opening section and just sitting there farming the hive that spawned in the cave. So this was an easy one to get. Another one that I've said before is like if you're doing that with Arc as well, you might get both of these. But the essence of dawning is what's going to slow you down, and I'll tell you some of the best ways to get that here just in a little bit. But back to the challenges, we've got a little bit more here. So purchase all 12 dawning upgrades. So that's going to be all the upgrades. Again, if you want to complete your event card, you could go after this one. If you're not going to buy the event card, you could probably skip this, but you also might want this shader if that's your collection. So again, make certain things priorities. But again, this is only going to be like shader, event ticket. Not really fancy. It's not like you're missing out on a weapon or anything. Bake each cookie, you're up to 13, and then bake each cookie. All 20 unique cookies need to be made. And that'll get you the ship. So if you haven't got a ship before, this will get you a dawning ship for dawning spirit to start dropping more readily. Then you just need guardians or combatants killed with stasis, strand, arc, solar, and void. So just use a variety of a loadout, like Riptide, Ikelos. Just go, like this. You could go strand, arc, void, stasis, solar. I'm probably going to do fast, so if I run like this, at least I get a mix of things done, which will help speed this process along. Finally, Vanguard Ops or Dares of Eternity. I've done, I think, 3 strikes, so that's 50%, so you need to run 6. Crucible matches, I've done 1, so you're going to need to run 5 Crucible matches. And Snowball defeats, obviously a little less than 100. So it's not too bad to do this one. And then if you do all the challenges, you will get a shard and an alloy, which for some people can be quite beneficial. So if you do all of those, that's your challenges. And then when you come back to Ava, so we've covered the upgrades. Again, Dawning Spirit, bounties, Dawning, and then your final piece is this fun stuff right here. This is the one thing outside of getting kills of all the different races of enemies using different weapons of, bows and sidearms and submachine guns and sniper rifles and all of that fun variety. And with different type of arc, solar, void, stasis, all that stuff. Essence of Dawning and Strand I don't think is actually going to be one. You'll just need to do a Strand weapon for the challenge. But the Essence of Dawning you get in activities all over the system. So when you're saying activities all over the system, you could go to the EDZ, you can do a public event and get like 3, 4, 5, something like that. You might do 5 from a heroic public event. If you do a lost sector, you might get 3. I know Widow's Walk is pretty damn fast. For me though, and this is why I keep pointing this one out, Vanguard Ups, the easiest strikes to do. What do they take you, like 8 minutes? You get a couple surges, you're going to have a buff in your favor, especially like today when it's heavyweight, just melt stuff. You'll have a threat. Woohoo. It's not too hard to do these. And I'm getting 16 or 17 from this. Now, I will tell you, if you want to be the absolute most efficient, go to Neptune, go to the classic playlist, go to First Contact, boot it up until the point where you face the Tormentor and you kill the Tormentor, and stop. When you kill the Tormentor, then it's going to say, like, board the drop pod. Basically, you're going to get a conquest key, and what's going to happen is you just do not want to, like, go into the next room and open the door. Pretty much what you need to do is kill the Tormentor. That should get you the checkpoint. Mosey forward like 5 feet. Make sure you've got the checkpoint. And then after that point, you need someone to join you. When they join you, you make them fire team leader. You leave, come back with an alternate character. You both move forward in the quest that makes you land on the planet. And then at that point, when you land on the planet, you should get your Essence of Dawning, which is about 16 or 17. Same thing for a Vanguard Op Strike. And then all you do is, once you've got your Essence dropped, load back in your other character. While you're doing that, your other friend then joins you once you land, and then rinse and repeat. That is the way to truly farm it. Just checkpoint loading is basically all it's called. If you don't want to do that, or you're a solo player, sometimes like me, if Crucible has something quick like Rumble, I don't know how fast Relic is. We all know Mayhem's pretty quick. If Momentum Control was around, that one's actually really fun to do. It's also fast. But Vanguard Ops is easy. Gambit, I'm just going to leave that to any Gambit players. That is your call. But again, public events, like this public event, we all know, it takes like 90 seconds. As soon as it starts, the ship appears, blow up the ship, the dude lands, he's dead. Fast. Some public events, you know, are easy, but sometimes there's no public events. Lost sectors being like 2 or 3, that's not really worth it because, yeah, you got to load, then you can run into a lost sector and do it in a couple minutes. But 2 and 3, that's going to take you like 5 to 6 or 7 of those. And I can run one Vanguard Ops in, trying to think, even 8-9 minutes. I've seen some of these things go, and they're going to give you 16 or 17. That's probably my major recommendation, is just to do that. So you're going to do ingredients by using a variety of loadouts, a variety of subclasses and damage types, and killing a variety of enemy types. You're going to get Dawning Spirit either by getting the ship from your collections if you're a previous player, or finishing the Dawning Challenge by cooking one of each cookie. If you are going through baking these cookies as a newer player or trying to keep track, I would write them down. I have baked the one cookie, and being as I already have my masterworked oven unlocked, I need to go through and just do one at a time down the row to make sure I don't mess it up. So keep track of what you baked, because if you baked 19 and you forgot which one, that's going to be a rough process of elimination, I have a feeling. Other than that, event card upgrades up to you. And then for your upgrades, start here. So any weapon you ever see has a chance at better perks. And then work your way back down for weapon focusing, engram focusing. Bounty ingredients is completely up to you, but a very low priority for me. I would do like all of the snowballs before I would do these two. And then outside of that, focus away and see if you get some good stuff. If you guys want to see what I think are good rolls on these weapons, I could work on a video looking through the possible perks and go over all of that in a second video. So if you enjoyed this video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions, but that is most of it for the Dawning. And then again, remember, if this quest is going stupidly slow for you too, like trying to get, say, Personal Touch to drop, watch my community page. If for some reason Destiny tweets out about this one, that could be one of those. Otherwise, use a glaive. I've heard that can work for melee options, but I've been running around with a bonk hammer. I'm not getting any to drop, so this is not really a big priority for me. The other stuff I would do first, snowballs and things like that for the memento before the cookie delivery help. I don't think it's an amazing reward if I remember correctly, so you got 3 weeks. I would not worry about that one. That's everything I got for the Dawning. So if you enjoyed this one, drop a like below, leave a comment if there's something major that I missed, please. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, if you want to find me on Twitch and Twitter, it's Ebontis over there. My Patreon is also at Ebontis. And then right here on YouTube, if you're new and you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Those of you who checked out the Lego video, thank you very much. And I'm just going to keep doing guides and variety of tips and a whole bunch of stuff coming your way. So look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good one.